You're ready to?
And we are live.
Yeah.
This alien guy or this
Sorry.
guy?
Let's hope somebody joins us.
Yeah,
Can
that's the real
can
test.
we
See if
see?
anybody actually logs in. So
I've been playing with this program, and there's some pretty cool things you can do with it if you pay them.
Oh yeah.
I do fancy things when I get paid too.
Yes, right. Respond a little better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't make enough money at this to pay for stuff like that.
A cup of coffee now and then, right?
There you go. It pays shipping on like one of my freebies a year.
The penny.
There you go. So do you get a list or see a list of the number of people that have joined the channel?
I do. Well, and I can also set it so that it makes a noise when someone comes in. Let's see. Yes. Oh, we can ban people.
That's an
Here we
like
go.
that.
Play a sound when guests enter. The only thing I didn't do is go, honey, can you go look at my YouTube channel and see if this is live on there?
I just saw we do have a couple people with us now.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
So we
Where
got
do you
Rebecca
see that?
and I think Jackie.
Oh, I see. And look at this. We can put their comments up. Hi, Rebecca. And hi, is that JC? Am I saying it right?
I'm bad with names.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
No, I'm pretty good at it, but you never know. Oh, maybe it's Jackie.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't see I see their comments, but
You can't tell how many people may have actually joined.
if people
It
have
is
actually.
Jackie. She said her mom was weird.
Oh. Well, it makes sense. Is it Jackie or is your full name Jacqueline? Because there's no K in Jacqueline, so it kind of makes sense to do Jacci.
Well, my mom was weird and did Elisabeth with an S. Yeah, it's Jacqueline. Jaclyn.
I secretly enjoyed Stacy trying to say your name.
I've never met someone who could not say my name like Stacy.
It was so cute. She just didn't want to get it wrong, but she never got it right.
It was great. And I mean, it's such an old name that you.
Now
you
she's going to watch this and hate me. No.
Hey, I'm so used to people saying Elisabeth all the time that I'm just like, whatever. I'll answer to it.
Yeah.
Right now I answer to Happy Hippo too, so.
Yeah, that's your name. And Dan the man.
Yeah, I can't mess mine up.
So why don't we get started? Because people will join us later.
Oh, she's named after.
I wouldn't mind being named after Charlie's Angel. We're gonna start with introductions so that you guys know who we all are. And you made it. I'm not even gonna try that name. Oh my goodness. Craft Corner, Riv. I'm gonna call you Riv. I'm Nancy. Most people know me from this channel, and I do unboxings. I try to do like a whip and chat canvas conversation, which Elisabeth came up with that name for me. Did. That was a good one. I was like, yes, we're doing that. And we have with us Elisabeth from HappyHippoFinds.
Hello.
And from my 3D Designs. Elisabeth, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about you? Oh, and Pip on his shoulder.
Yep, I'm a weirdo and like birds, so have a live bird. I am Elisabeth. I started HappyHippoFinds actually before I started diamond painting because I wanted a way to introduce my crafts to the world. And I purposely didn't put anything about the type of craft. So if I change, which is what has happened, I could add whatever I wanted to my shop. And so when people started doing custom diamond pins, I was seeing the price for them, and people were doing like $12. But if you went and looked at AliExpress, they paid 33 cents for the pin. And I just couldn't believe the price. And I'm like, that's outrageous. I'm going to do it myself. And so I made my own. The first couple ones I made, I actually gave one to Nancy, or a couple to Nancy as well. And after they had gotten them, they had told me how much they liked them. I was like, maybe I could do this for real. And so I've started doing it. And my whole thing has been to make it so that anybody can afford it, because it shouldn't just be, you know, I think a money-making venture when you pay sometimes not even $5 for a diamond painting. Why are you paying $12 for your pen when you could get the pen for cheaper? So, and from there, I just kind of evolved into diamond painting accessories after people have asked me for them. And now I've gotten really into my resin crafting, and I'm doing that as well as all my diamond painting stuff.
So did you start doing the resin work earlier, or is that something that you picked up since you had your shop open?
It is something I have picked up. I was actually buying pre-made resin things from China, and you know, it's all well and good, but sometimes I would want a different color, or I would want something that sometimes the quality was not always there. And so I'm all about, you know, cheaper price, but good quality. And so that was one of my things, is I was like, let me see. So I played around with little resin. I'm like, I think I could do this. And, you know, I've always been kind of a crafty person. And when it comes to resin, it's all about, you know, mixing and colors and kind of knowing how to make a fluid work, because it's this weird, starts as a liquid, becomes a solid, and anywhere in between you can do something or add something. So I
noticed you have, you know,
made my
different things inlaid, as well as, you know, multiple colors kind of fused together. So
oh yeah, I mean, I can add so many different things, and I've done actually some of Pip's feathers that he has lost naturally. I've done like bowls for myself, so now I always will have his feathers. Stickers, beads, shells, sand. I mean, there's basically no endless possibility.
Have you thought about offering, you know, that type of personal service for a customer if they want something included into a resin piece?
Yes, and I have done actually a couple of memory ones where people have actually sent me a little bit of ashes, and I have done memory lockets and stuff with the ashes.
That's so sweet.
And you know, I try to do anything I do, I will do custom, because that's part of the thing I like, is I like doing, if you have an idea, I want to make it better. I want to make it beyond what you wanted. And so if I've had people who sent me pictures of their dog, and I've painted charms to look like their dog, I can do pictures. So, I mean, if people give me ideas or offer, you know, I want to make it the best I can. And it's fun for me. It's kind of boring.
At Christmas, I told Elisabeth I wanted a gift for my sister-in-law. And I said, her son is autistic. His favorite color is yellow, and she loves pets. And she made this beautiful keychain with the yellow autism puzzle piece and a little paw, and then she put all these beautiful little charms on there. It was so unique and so perfect, and exactly what I wanted. It really made me happy. And it made her happy.
That's what makes me the happiest, is to know that people are liking what I do and are enjoying it. Because, you know, I don't want anyone to be like, oh, that was nice, thanks. Like, I want to bring some kind of joy, and it's an art form for me, you know, the mixing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking something clear and making something completely
Well,
different.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of a mixed media because you have all different types of things in there.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I paint, glitters, feathers, whatever I can figure out to put in resin. It's probably been put in resin for me.
Yeah.
And Elisabeth, you didn't say it, but you're the glitter queen. You're the reason I make all those memes that say my favorite color is glitter. And
it really is my favorite.
You love it. You love it. Yeah.
I actually have.
I love it, which is kind of our big connection. We're both, you know, into the sparkle.
Yeah.
So Dan, how about you? Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I'm Dan. I up here in, you know, just in the Seattle area. I started 3D printing probably 6 or 7 years ago. It's been quite a while. And I started because a friend of mine at work had a machine, and he would bring pieces into work, and he brought me one in that I still have that was, you know, really the thing that put me over the edge that I needed to buy one. And it was this little, I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's a gear, and it prints as one piece. It doesn't come apart. It's not assembled.
Oh,
right?
Cool.
But it's free moving. And so
Neat.
so I brought that home and I showed my wife, and I was like, this is why I want a 3D printer. And she picked it up and she spun it and she looked at it, and about 30 seconds later she looks at me and goes, I get it, right? I understand now, right? And so I've done it as a hobby more than anything else. And I decided at some point to the whole Etsy side came about because I started making earrings. Thought that would be an interesting kind of item to try to sell. I probably sold 5 or 6 pairs over the last year and a half.
Wow.
So it really hasn't been a big seller, but everybody makes earrings when you look at it out there.
Yeah.
But then a friend of mine at work, his wife diamond paints, and she mentioned that somebody 3D prints a grinder. And so I was like, well, I'll make you one. That's not a problem. So I went and designed a little grinder, and that's how I got into the diamond painting side. And then people began to ask about trays. And I quickly did a search for diamond painting trays, and I see these little green things, and they're 99 cents. I was like, well, there's no way that I could actually, make these for 99 cents. So I go, that's not going to work, right? And people started telling me how much they didn't like those trays. And it was really through conversations with Nancy and a couple other people online early on that the whole idea of these other shaped trays came about. And somebody said, well, can you make a butterfly tray? And that's the story that I remember early on. And so while I'm in this chat with everybody, I go over to my modeling software and I make a butterfly. And I said, like this. And it was a kind of a group exercise. And 3 or 4 people are giving feedback. Go, well, it'd be really nice if it did this and had this. And so I was making these changes during the conversation, and that ended up being what is now the butterfly tray that's in the shop. But it's
that
really
was so neat.
Yeah, and every shape that I have has been through working with people in the groups and online for what they want, right? Things that fit their hands better, things that some of them that are just easier to hold, some that are just bigger, right? Some people want really large trays, and that's really the input I take is really from everybody that doesn't even have to be a customer, but anybody that's a kind of a fan that just has an idea and says this might work better, right?
Yeah.
He said, I saw the butterfly and I said, can you make a ladybug?
Yeah.
And I guess somebody else had asked for a ladybug at the same time. And
well, yeah, but
told.
you were more persistent, I think. And so
Nancy persistent? What?
Me? No way.
Yeah, and so most of the things on the shop I design, but there are things on there from other people. So if you like the movable kitten, the rounded shaped kitten.
Oh yeah.
This little elephant guy. He's currently not listed, but I need to make a listing for him. But the same artist made these rounded animals, and I got his permission to be able to list them, and then I give some of the proceeds back to him. Yeah, he did a really nice job. And so I just, things that I think that are neat, I try to make them for other people. There's a lot of things that I've made that I just can't list because really there's probably licensing issues, right? But I've given them as gifts to friends, right? And one that I really enjoyed for myself, it's a model that you can download for free, but I don't know if I can sell it. But it's a cube in the similar vein of that round gear, but it's a cube that can turn on itself.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Dan, stop coming up with showing things I have to have.
Yeah, I have to look to see if I can actually sell that one. But it's really, it's those movable pieces that I really think show off what 3D printers can do.
Those would be a fun giveaway.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you could give one away because then you wouldn't have to worry about those things. There's a lot of things out there that the models are free, but whether or not you can actually sell them is the question mark. So you have to do a little bit of research. But people have paid me to print something that's already there.
And do you want to, if it's somebody else's design,
That's why, like the cat I have, right? It's, I talked to the person that did the design work and then said, can I list these in the shop? And so I give him some of the proceeds back. And so he's happy. I just make a deposit from PayPal to him, once a month and make it easy.
That's awesome. And you're starting to do T-shirts and stuff now, right? Too.
Yeah.
And stickers?
Yeah. So a friend of mine, long time ago, I've been friends with this gentleman since kindergarten. Just to give you an idea, and since I'm about as old as dirt, it's been a while. But he has a business making T-shirts, and so I talked to him.
I think I'm older, so.
And so that was where I did the initial, attempt to try to sell a T-shirt. But since he does screen printing, there's a lot of kind of upfront cost, and so there's really kind of this minimum order quantity that you have to hit to really to kind of offset the burning of the screen and that process, that setup fee. And so now I just, there's a couple print on demand outfits out there that will integrate into Etsy, and so I literally just plumbed into that outfit. And so the T-shirt that's listed on there now doesn't have a minimum quantity. You can just, if I sold one, that's all they would ever care about.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's so kind of like my Zazzle stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to get involved in taking people's money and shipping and quality. And I just upload my designs and put them on stuff and they sell,
Yep.
And I actually have 2 of your designs. I have a tumbler cup of yours, which I totally even forgot I even had these until we talked about them. And I have a big canvas bag, and that's actually one of my order bags. When I take all my orders to the post office, I use that bag, and everyone at the post office always loves it because it says glitter's my favorite color.
Glitter's my favorite color, yeah. I don't even have any of my own designs. I have a diamond painting of the color outside the lines. I kept one for myself. Maybe some year I'll do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I've always intended on trying to, make some YouTube videos about the process of 3D printing. So if you do searching out there, you may find my YouTube channel, but I probably have one video out there as a test. I've never found the time to actually sit down to try to make any content for it.
Maybe if you had some subscribers, you'd be forced to do more with it. So
True, right?
We can put your channel in the description when this is over. We'll put everybody's, because we all have Facebook groups. Yeah. We all have YouTube channels. We all have Instagram. We can put all that information down there.
Things.
And similar to designing trays, right? It's I take a lot of input from what people want. So if people said that I'd like to understand how this process works, in the whole design and manufacturing side, I'd be more than happy to share that information. So. Yeah,
how many machines do you have now?
I have 16 now, but I'm running out of space in this room. So
you had when I first met you, you had one, right?
Yeah. Yep.
One.
Yep.
And I like this. When I first met Dan, I knew you were gonna take off because shape trays. Oh yes, we need those. And
Well,
I
you
took a
kept saying that, and
screenshot.
I was surprised because I wasn't sure that was going to be the case. And then
Oh, I knew.
and you're the one that
The way
convinced me
people
that.
gobbled up the pens, I knew the
Oh yeah.
trays would be big. And I took a screenshot of your Etsy, and you had like 100 something sales at
Yeah,
that time.
I think I remember that because I remember when I hit 3 digits, I was like, wow, I've had 100 sales, right?
Now you have what?
Right?
Now you have what, like 1,000?
No, I'm over 7,000 sales.
I was going to say, he's got to have more than that.
1,000.
Yeah.
I really like being right. And I love it when people do well. I love it when good people do well. People who are fair and honest and having fun with it and just trying to make other people happy. Because that's what you do. That's what both of you do. You just make people happy with the stuff that you make, and it's wonderful.
And similar to Elizabeth's in a similar situation where she's making things all the time, and so with 3D printing, everything's new, right? So I make everything to order. I don't hold an inventory, and so when somebody comes and asks for a change that may suit them better, oftentimes I can make it, right? Sometimes it's like, well, that's going to take a little bit more work. I might have to. I can't guarantee that will be ready tomorrow, but I definitely try to incorporate what they like into the product. So.
And some things just don't work out right, like that tiara tray.
Well, that was very
Hmm.
fragile. I was really surprised that one survived the shipment to UK. So
Yeah.
I still have to make yours because I broke yours. So.
Well, hers is more valuable now because it's an original.
It is an original.
The only one. I'm okay with that. What else do we have on my desk? My phone keeps closing.
I have two shapes I asked for. So I had asked for hippos, of course, because that is what I like.
Yeah.
So this one's one of the glow in the dark ones.
Okay, I made you a glitter blue one too, I believe.
Yes. And those, of course, are my favorite. Pip likes the color white.
Oh yeah.
So have to sit there and talk to it.
Funny.
And then
we're doing favorites now.
I guess so. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
And then for those that don't know, I don't have a stomach anymore. A lot of medical things have happened, so I don't have a stomach. And we are kind of drawn to the seahorse because seahorses don't actually have a stomach either.
Yeah.
So as soon as he actually listed this one, I knew I had to get it. And this is actually one of my favorite because it's so small that it fits really nicely in my hand.
Yeah.
So I really, really love this one. And this one I actually didn't know about this color because it was one of the special colors until afterwards. And I felt so bad. But yeah, that was like, can we change the color? And Dan was so great to work with and get the color change, and so very awesome. And I've never had any issues. If you have a question or, what color, I mean, you can get a hold of us very easily. And
I try to respond pretty quickly as well. So.
But yeah, those are my absolute favorite. And then I have the dog one too, which I really like. And you can't see, but I actually took a Sharpie and put eyes and a nose on it because I needed something.
So the material that these are made out of, actually, you can paint it really well. Or I don't know if you saw the picture of a couple people decorated the owl pen holder, right? They put eyelashes on it and
blinged it up. Yeah, I saw that.
But yeah, the material is really good as a base for doing other things as well. So
can you see
now I'm gonna have to paint it to look like my dog.
Dan?
Yeah, so the medical mask. Yeah, I reached out to that company. I do have an open question to them because with 3D printing, there's many different types of plastic you can use, and the type of plastic I use is biodegradable. It's probably the least harmful to use for myself, from a toxicity standpoint, but it has a lower melting point. And so I need to make sure that the material I use would be, applicable in that setting in case they have to go through some sterilization process. That's a high temperature. That's the only question I have, because I could easily take, some of my printers and just, load them up and focus strictly on the medical masks, right? And try to produce that. So because I am fortunate enough to have,
I wonder if all that info is on Google somewhere.
Yeah, so there was a news article that I had read, and it linked me out to they actually have a Facebook page where you can, effectively kind of apply, right? It's basic form saying how many printers you have, what type, and where you located at. And so I did receive my first email back from them, and so I do have a couple of questions to follow up before I can start printing them. But
that's really neat. I mean,
I'm going to show one of my favorite trays. This was a group winner, was the awareness ribbon, and we talked about it because it was so good because you can get it in different colors. So I got red, which is the stroke awareness ribbon. And this is one of my favorites. And I love that it has the 2 spouts at the bottom, so nothing gets...
So that tray is a good example of where somebody contacted me just a week or two ago, and they asked if I could divide it into a 2-section tray. And so I basically created a divider down the middle, so the 2 spouts are now, it's not an option in the store, but it's available by all means. So it operates as 2 separate trays now.
You can go so many different ways.
Yeah.
And that's why that sometimes I know you get overwhelmed with people who ask for something, and
well, if I get too many customization requests at one time, right, that can kind of slow down, the process, because with 16 machines, it kind of keeps you busy.
Or something that nobody else is ever gonna buy.
Yeah, I've had a few of those, but some of those have really surprised me, right? So early on, somebody asked for a goat, as an example. And I thought, who would want a goat tray? And I probably sold 15 of them, right? So I didn't think I'd sell more than one. But
I sent that link to our friend Stacy, who has a goat farm.
Yeah, so
she bought a bunch,
right?
Yeah.
And so I try not to, I try to fulfill most of the requests. But yeah, sometimes when we were doing the new tray design every week, then it became hard to keep up with the design work as well as the actual creation of the trays. So
yeah.
Well, yeah, and because there's so much stuff you have to go in to get to the design. It's not just, here's a shape, there you go. There's so much.
I mean, I may have to print one, and that might take 4 or 5 hours, and then that fails, right? And I have to redesign, and so that first couple iterations can take a little bit extra, right? So, and even now, right? So I can even my catalog of items, it's still not a guarantee that it's going to print successfully. So, there are times when I can have a lot of failed prints, and people are expecting the shipments to go out, and some of these things are taking 7-9 hours to print at a time. So,
and that's
some of your fails. Yeah, some of your fails are spectacular.
Well, yeah, the worst ones are the ones I wake up to in the morning, right? Because I've had all night to just make a mess, and so.
Yep, I completely know. There's been times I've woken up and the resin hasn't set at all, and I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be great. Luckily, it has not happened that often, but I mean, you never know. Things happen, so you just kind of laugh about it and go on with your day, right?
Here's my other favorite tray.
Of large spills of the material.
Oh yeah, there's been glitter everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but isn't there always?
Well, yes. I mean, I get everything everywhere.
This is the painter's palette that was a group contest winner. There's another one that just has one section for the drills, right? And this one has 5. And then I went and said, well, I'm left-handed, so I need you. The other one was made for the left hand. I said, I need one for my right hand. So you did that. You're just filling requests all the time. And then you came out with the covers, the personalized cover. So I got mine. I can't get it in the thing. There we go. Fancy Nancy diamond painting. So I love this. I have the stoppers for it, and I have the cover, and it's just adorable. So I love that you can personalize them for people, because people really love having things personalized.
So I was trying to think of a way to do it with the tray itself, and there's really not a lot of just kind of extra space on the tray to do different things. And so the covers make it a lot easier, right? And so as long as the cover doesn't have another pattern, like the turtle shell, for example, has a pattern
right.
on it. Yeah. Yep.
I love them. I love your trays. They just make me happy.
I like the new stoppers. I need to order some.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I, in similar fashion, I can be creative. So I actually already have designed ones for you, Elizabeth. So I just haven't sent them to you. I'll send them when I send the cookie cutter. I'll send you some.
I'm excited about that cookie cutter.
That's right. It got broken. This is one of the new stoppers, and on the hummingbird tray, the old stopper didn't fit over here.
Yeah, the wing kind of
doesn't really stick out, but the new stoppers are just perfect. It worked great. I saw it and I'm like, oh, my because for some reason this hummingbird fits in my hand so nice, so comfortable.
Yeah. I've had quite a few people contact me and just ask me what shape trays would work well for hands that have mobility problems and whatnot. And there's several shapes that are out there that make it easier to grip, right? So you don't have to.
People like those finger loops too.
Yeah.
Loops. Okay, I have some of Elisabeth's stuff. These are my favorite pens. And I keep them all together in one little holder, and they're just they're so soft. And Baby keeps coming over, and like she'll be on my table next to the couch, and she's always going for these.
Dog toys and diamonds. What can I say?
Yeah, I love these. There's something about them. They're so pretty and so cute. And of course, my purple feather. Elisabeth got just a couple. You didn't get. Do you still have these?
I do not at the moment. The problem being is I have shipments of stuff waiting to get here, but because of world issues right now, a lot of my stuff is not. I mean, I'm even waiting for stuff from Amazon right now that won't be until April 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
everything 1 or 2 days, and now
it's very frustrating.
But
running out of colors.
One that, you said you had them, and you said what colors. And I was like, grab me a purple. I need to have a purple. And she did, Elisabeth's happy to set things aside for you if you have to have a certain thing. And that's her new work. This is my favorite little heart-shaped bowl. And you make these as cover minders too, don't you? Put magnets on them?
Yep, that's exactly what I do because I know that I am one of those people that spill my drills all the time. So having a place that I could put rogue ones, as I like to call them, because you'll put the color away and then you're like, why do I have 5 more over here?
Yeah.
So I just stick them all
you
in
always
a bowl.
find more.
And I was like, I'm all about making my cover minders dual purpose. So
and this one matches the hydro hollow pen. I'm not grabbing mine from Lass & Lathe Works.
Yeah, his hollow, and I had asked him if it was all right to copy his pen, and he's completely okay with it. And
yeah, he's pretty good about stuff like that. But then you sent me a cover minder that matches, and I was just so happy. Yeah, I love the way you put little goodies in with your stuff.
Yeah, this is actually, so I actually have some new or smaller bowls, and he's going to yell at it because it's kind of white. But this one is another hollow one, which you can't tell in my light. And they're a little bit smaller because I actually made so many of those heart bowls, I broke the mold. And of course,
no.
I cannot find the mold anywhere now. I have one coming. It's, again...
Stop looking, because you're guaranteed to find it then.
Well, I have one coming in shipment now, but of course, I don't know when it's going to be here. So luckily, I found these smaller ones, so I'm doing those as well now. But I have like 2 sizes. I have this little small one and then a bigger one.
I like that shape. Very pretty.
They're faceted, so they're even like they have a nice little shine to them.
Oh,
and then
okay.
I've been experimenting with them, but my newest kind of experiment is this kind of ink drops. So I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, it's almost like ink dripped in clear resin. And when you do it in like a cup, it kind of goes down the sides and it looks like it's creeping up your cup. So I've really have been enjoying those colors and doing that. But the bowls, the smaller ones for cover minders are now like one of my favorite things. But they're a nice size, and you know, I like to use all kinds of multi-tips. So I'll put my multi-tips in there, holds the cover back. It's got a very strong magnet.
I like having little bowls right next to me because, you know, I'll get like one of those little things from the pink wax on the drills, the little boogers.
Yep.
And I get those and I'll just like chuck them on the floor. And then I'm like, oh, they're everywhere, you know. I need to have a little bowl there. It stops all that mess, you know.
Yeah, and that's why I also wanted to make it into a cover minder because, you know, I even have ones that are little, I don't think I have one near me, but they're just covered wax containers that are cover minders as well. So they have a magnet on it.
Yeah.
I like dual purpose things. That really appeals to me because I'm like, if I'm going to have, I don't want 15 different things out. If I can have like one thing that does 2 purposes, let's do it.
Much better.
That's one of my
favorite things. You're exactly like Dan. Every time I think I have everything I need, you come out with something new. And this was the last
experiment with.
You came out with these little lights that you put into the resin, and here they are. And I was able to tell you like what color resin I wanted and what color lights I wanted, and it's just so wonderful the way you make everything specialized for people.
Well, it's one of those things where like I'm making most of it to order anyway, so it's really not a problem for me to tell me your colors, and then, you know, whatever they decide. Do you want pastels? Do you want dark? Do you want lots of glitter? Do you want no glitter? Like, I can change it up. And there's even, you know, people will be like, oh, like, I know they've ordered unicorns from me in the past, and they ordered something else, and they really liked unicorns. So I might have added a unicorn or 2 without them knowing that it was coming to them. And so, you know, tell me what you like. You know, there's really not a whole lot that's stopping me, and I'm getting a circuit soon, so I'll be able to actually cut my own pieces to any specification I want to put in the resin. So it's like right now I'm having to use stickers, or I'm having to use other people helping me with vinyl cuts. So it'll be nice to have that freedom that I can do a little bit more, but I'm always trying to come up with something new because I think that's the funness for me. The new mold I get to play with, the new techniques I've learned. What can I put in resin? What can't I put in resin? Because I mean, we've all had fails. I know there are times
what can't you put in resin?
There's really not a whole lot. Paper is really not very good because it's a liquid when it starts. So if you put it in a liquid medium, it'll start discoloring and sometimes it'll come apart. So paper is one of those things. Now, some people will like seal the paper before they put in, but I've tried it and it's still, if you don't get it completely sealed, it'll still have damage to it. So then you just ruined your piece because that's not gonna look like that. Or at least to me, it's ruined. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to what I'm selling. If it's for me, like this is something I made for myself, and it's an acrylic pin case, and it's not perfect. It's got like a little extra lip and stuff, but it's mine. So I'm like, it's for me. It doesn't have to be absolutely. But if it's for somebody who's paying for it, I do my best to make it as perfect as I can for them. And I try to go beyond what they even think. And, you know, if I've had some people that just, I don't know, and I'm like, no, let me fix it. That's exactly what I want to do. Is I want to make it right, make it perfect for you. So I do the best that I can.
You're always saying that, you know, people should be able to afford pretty things, and you make pretty things for everybody, and you know, I know it's different when you make things for yourself. And what I do, I'm not a perfectionist in anything. I'm like, you know, I'm lucky I'm doing this at all, that I'm able to do this at all. I don't really care if it's perfect. And if I'm giving it as a gift, they better say thank you. So that's all.
So Nancy, are you gonna put links to the shops in the
I'm good. Yeah, I was gonna answer Tasha's question here. Both Dan and Elisabeth have Etsy shops. I said earlier, we all have Facebook groups, all three of us, and we're all kind of involved in one another's Facebook groups in some way. Although, Dan, I don't think you even need us anymore because you're getting really good at this Facebook stuff.
Yeah. Well,
well, it's good to have extra eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. That's true. It really is, because I miss a lot, and I'm like, oh, someone asked a question. Oh, Nancy Peterson answered it. I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, how did I? And then you're like, oh, someone already
got it. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tasha, we'll put links on this in the description once it's posted up on YouTube, and we're not live anymore. And we'll put links to everybody's Facebook group, to Elisabeth and Dan's Etsy shops, and how to contact them, because anybody, sorry, my phone was very loud. Anybody can contact you guys and email you and ask questions. And, you know, I need a shark for Shark Week, and a tray and a pen and you guys always do something. You get the job done one way or the other.
Well, I saw this like little picture yesterday, and it was, you know, every time you order from a small business, there's somebody that's jumping up and down, and I feel like that's what we're like. We're the people that are jumping up and down, and you could actually talk to us and communicate with us. So, it's one of those.
Exactly. It's, I mean, if somebody reaches out to, you know, Elisabeth for her shop or me for mine, they are literally talking to the person that, you know, designed the product, created the product, shipped the product, right? So it's pretty interesting. Where, my joke when I'm in my little workshop is I'll go to the other side of the table and say, oh, I'm going to go walk over to shipping and receiving, which is 2 feet away, but.
You know, Pip is my supervisor, and some days he gives me the look where, you know, I'm not doing a good enough job.
Pip keeps you on task.
He does, or he tells me I have to have a mandatory break because he needs pets.
Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, and you gotta listen to him.
Pip is a therapy animal too, right?
Yeah, he
Tell
is.
us about that.
we are registered with Pet Partners, which is a national organization for therapy animals. They do many different types: dogs, rabbits, cats, ponies, guinea pigs. And so to be registered through them, you actually have to do testing and take a test with your animal to be able to do it. And so he's passed his test. He's done 2 testing. You do it every 2 years. And this is our 3rd year doing therapy work. He is just 5 years old right now. He has actually a harness diaper that he wears. And one of our favorite places to go is the library. And he'll sit with the kids and they'll practice their reading skills with him.
Oh, yeah.
And he absolutely loves it. He loves the attention. He loves getting the pets. He loves car rides. I mean, he's a crazy bird, but he
loves mashed potatoes.
Yeah, he had to have a bath today because he got mashed potatoes all over himself, and he was very proud of that fact.
Oh, that's funny.
So he's my pride and joy. I have many animals, but I mean, there's a special place for my little cockatiel.
How about Dan? What is your favorite tray?
Mine. That's interesting.
And why?
Well, I would have to say it's probably the butterfly, and it's really just because that kind of started the whole shape tray thing.
It like opened the door.
Exactly, and because that process of creating it because people asked for it, also made me realize that what else do people want, right? Because even if you wanted a square tray, then people were like, well, I want it deeper, right? And we went through several iterations for the design for the square tray, just in by itself, because I try to take people's feedback, and even if you look at like some of the early trays, like the butterfly is a good example, the lines go all the way to the edge. Well, then people contacted me later and said, well, sometimes the beads get caught next to the wall, right? Because there's no room for them to flow that way.
You're too close.
So I was like, so like new designs, I leave a gap and take those things into consideration, but I have to go back and kind of redesign some of those old ones to make those changes. But
the butterflies had quite a few reincarnations.
Yeah, it started out with 1 spout, right? It now has 2. And even then, I went through a process of getting people's feedback if they wanted to go to that square spout, which is the common one that I use now, because by doing that, it allowed me to have a single stopper for all those trays. And so anything going forward, right, I use that same design for a spout. So if you buy a tray 6 months from now, it's a new design, that'll still, your stopper will still work with it, right? So
that was so smart.
Well, it's the same idea of trying to give people value, right? I don't want people to have to buy something they don't need, right? Because, right? Because it'd be really easy to design something so, oh, this one's unique. Now you have to buy these other 3 things. It's like, well, people don't want that, right?
Yeah.
No.
It's like Apple changing their cord thing, and you got to get a whole new cord each time.
And the thing about diamond painting is you don't need anything besides what they give you.
Yeah, I think I said that in my last video, that everything you need comes in the kit.
So
but all this other stuff is fun.
Yeah.
It's all fun stuff. I like.
So yeah, I like that, you make it so that, I'm doing a hippo painting right now.
Yeah.
First one, which is really funny. But it's nice because I'm like, I have the hippo tray to go with the hippo painting, with the hippo cover minder. Yeah. Like, it all matches.
Look at me. I need to take a picture.
Yeah, I might have to.
And Elisabeth, of your, now you have 2 lines, of your pens, what's your favorite pen?
I love my glitter pens, the ones with the liquid glitter in the middle. They are my favorite. Although I will sit there and put it upside down and just sit there and play with the pen and not paint, which is part of my thing.
That's okay.
So Definitely one of my favorites right there. And that's the thing is when I buy pins, I buy ones that I like. So if I don't sell them and I end up having to keep them, at least I like them.
Yeah.
So
That's very
try and
smart.
sell things I don't like, I won't enjoy myself.
Yeah.
So I mean, if people ask, hey, do you have this? I might like look and see what I can find, but I try not to buy a whole bunch of ones that I don't find interesting because, you know, if I do end up stuck with it, at least it's something that I think is neat and interesting. And like I have so many pins and I'm trying to slow down on my pin buying because we're actually trying to buy a house right now. So we should be moving in June when we know for sure. So but I don't want a whole bunch of inventory I'm gonna have to take with me.
Yeah.
When you get out of self-quarantine and you're going to buy a house.
Well, it's funny because I've been told so many times this is actually probably the smartest time to start to buy a house. And so it's just really funny the way the timing's worked out. I'm like, we've been planning this since like December and now right now is the quarantine. I'm like, this would be my life. This is what I would do.
This is how it goes.
Well, my favorite resin thing.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Elizabeth. I'm sorry.
We asked my favorite resin piece.
Yeah.
The cover minder.
Yeah. That was next.
So I do really like the dishes a lot because they are multi-purpose, but I really think my absolute favorite is my hippos. Just my little tiny, not even a resin one, but I have this and then I have the resin hippos, but they make me just so happy because they're hippos. I actually just found a new hippo mold that I got. And the thing with the hippos is I don't really care if they sell. And a lot of people like them because I'm Happy Hippo to get a hippo from me. So I've sold quite a few that I thought I wouldn't because of that. Because I was like, this is something I really enjoy. But then people have liked them. And I'm like, okay, maybe. And I think it's just because of the name. But they
more people like hippos than you realize.
I am finding that out. And then, you know, the whole Fiona thing hit and more people were liking hippos. And I'm like, oh, we're not alone in the world. Which, I mean, I'm so crazy. That is a hippo painting up there. Like,
oh my gosh.
That I got for Christmas one year. I mean, if there's a hippo in a store, I will find it.
Every time I see a hippo, I have to send it to you. And
yeah, it makes me
you.
So my boyfriend's like, you need to stop buying hippos. But I mean, everyone has a collection of something that just happens to be mine. And so when I came up for a name for the store, I was like, oh, I have to have something with a hippo. And I was like, you know what, this works. And it makes me happy because I have plenty of mascots around the house.
Well, it's a very unique name. So it's like, you don't have to worry. I mean, so my name
very well branded.
I literally logged into Etsy to try to set up my account and took the 3 minutes needed and that's how my name came to be. I mean, there was really no rhyme or reason other than I had to have a unique name. And so
I mean, it works though. I can always remember yours though, but then I'm like, is it 1D or 2Ds?
Yeah. And your email, I always leave out the S for some reason.
Well, exactly. It's things that could be better, right?
I get it.
Once you stuck on a name, though.
That's me. So the other thing on our list was upcoming plans. What's in the works? What's coming up? What can people expect?
So the last group vote was for the angel tray, and so I've been a little busy with the little quarantine and moving my daughter back home from college. So that one's a little behind schedule, but I should wrap that one up here this week, next week. So that's the next tray that comes out. What else is coming up? The cover minders things are, I don't have a whole lot of them in the works, so it's not like I don't think I'll have a huge library of them.
They're very cute.
Yeah, I think they're really neat. I really like the mouse. I love that one. Pip thinks it's his own personal toy, though. He he gets off my shoulder and goes to it. I think it's the color gets to him.
Okay.
I love that color.
Funny.
Yeah, well, and that whole thing came to be because I literally selected the wrong thing on the menu, right? Because I had downloaded that pattern and it was on the chip, but I was trying to print a mini tray and went to mouse instead.
I didn't understand your post, and now I do.
Yeah, you have to see the menuing. It's a little dial you turn, and the computer on these printers isn't very powerful, and so there's a little bit of a lag when you're selecting something. And so it's easy to select the wrong one. And so
luckily mine are all anything I do. I'll just grab the wrong color and be like, well, I guess we're gonna do that one today because I
do have a bin
too much resin.
Yeah, so I have a bin of misprints from selecting the wrong, item off the menu, right? So, yeah.
Oh.
But every now and then it'll be, especially if it's like a purple color or something that's very popular. Chances are somebody's going to want that tray in next week, so it's not a big deal. But I do have some that have been sitting in there for, I don't know, 5-6 months, and so
orange ones.
Remember, you sold them in the group, your misprints,
and
they sold out so fast.
Yeah, I just haven't done it again. Part of the the scheduling challenge we have.
You got to take the time to do it.
Yeah, but now that we're all quarantined, right? I should have some time to organize that again.
I think so.
Yeah.
Or you have a team of girls here. You can send a picture, and we'll take care of it.
There you go.
Here, Dan. Here's the winner. Send it to this person.
Exactly.
What else? That's
well,
all. I think that was all.
Elisabeth.
Yeah, my new thing.
Oh yeah.
So I'm actually working on a pin cup. So the thing is, a lot of the molds, like the pin cup I have now, I don't have them right now, is very small, and a lot of people use the acrylic lathe pins, and so you can only fit one of those in there, and so people want bigger. So I got the box mold, and now I can do the boxes, but something for a desk. So the thing is, they're so big, there's not a lot of molds out there for something about the size I want. So you either can get a humongous concrete one for potted plants, or you can get little tiny ones. So I actually found a glass jar that is going to be the perfect size for what I want. So I'm actually going to hand pour the mold myself.
Oh my gosh.
Get it hopefully perfect. But that is what I'm planning. I'm just waiting on supplies, of course, because unfortunately, because of the time it is, a lot of I can't go. I live in Virginia, and they closed everything but restaurants and food stores and pharmacies. So I can't just go buy resin at Walmart. So I'm having to wait for it to come by.
Maybe
mail.
Amazon.
Well,
actually, Amazon's where I've bought it. I just like dropping to the store and I can pick it up whenever. So, but the problem is Amazon's not doing not expediting their shipping anymore for certain items. So the resin I was able to get because I went through a different company, but my magnets and stuff are actually going to be the 23rd of April before I can get them. So I've had to buy some from another company to try and make sure that I still have supplies to actually make things for people. Because, now that I'm home all the time, resin art is it's my relaxing time. I, experiments, making something for somebody. That's what I'm entertaining myself with. So not only is it, helping a little bit with some of the bills, but it's also, an outlet for me to get some of my creativity out. Yeah. So I'm always trying to think of something different and something new, which is how I come up with the little bowls and just go with it. But I wouldn't even done the cover minders if it wasn't for people in my group and people I've sold a lot of pins to say, hey, can you do this? Because they're like, we like them from these other people, but they're so expensive. And I'm like, I looked at theirs and I'm like, again, I know how much you're paying for some of those supplies.
And your personalized cover minders are awesome. You made me one that says Fancy Nancy on it. It's just so perfect. And Dog Mom with a little thing
Yep.
of BB and Charlie. Just perfect.
And I mean, I've been doing keychains. I made actually this necklace is one of my St. Patrick's Day ones that I've made.
So cute.
So it's like,
I was going to ask you about it. I could see it. I love it.
yeah.
But
So
you put orange. You put
What?
orange in a St. Patrick's Day thing?
Well, the Irish
the
flag
flag.
is green, white, orange. We are actually half Irish in my family on my dad's side, so that's how
Orange.
I know.
Orange was always. I was told that if you were against the Irish, if you were English, British, that you wear orange to show that you are not Irish.
I did not know that.
Learn something new.
A lot of the things I make, it's just somebody asking me, "Hey, do you make earrings?" And I was like, "Well, I've never made one, but what are you thinking? Let me see, what supplies cost, and I'll give you an idea." And I made, I have a very good customer that actually has like a picture of the green she likes, and I've matched that green multiple. I call it her green now. It's now Mary Ellen green because she's the one that. Like she always likes that color and stuff. And so she's like, "Oh, can you do me a necklace or can you do me an earring and stuff?" But I was like, "I don't know. Let me try. Let me see." And I mean, working with her is so easy, but she always has so many ideas. And I love that. I mean, I love just taking other people's ideas. That sounds so bad, but like taking what they like and
making them come to life.
Yes,
That's
exactly. I'm not about stealing
color.
other people's ideas.
I like stealing people's copyrighted information.
Yeah, no.
Mouse
Etsy
character
will
I'm
get
thinking
you
about making.
fast. Etsy will get you fast on that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I bet.
I've done a few like Hello Kitty keychains and stuff for people, but those have never been posted anywhere near Etsy. Those, I sent and dressed them and showed them, but I have to avoid stickers and that sort of thing with those kind of characters.
Elizabeth, you're an outlaw.
Exactly.
But I mean, there's things that I've made for myself that I'm like, ooh, I really like this, but I'm like, I can't really post that because it's got that character, and Etsy will only let you have so many dings.
Yeah.
And I mean,
and then you're shut down. YouTube is like that too. You got so many copyright infringements, and then you're done.
So yeah, I mean, you just got to be careful, and that's
I
the
have
thing.
zero.
I've seen other people have them, and I'm like, I'm not gonna risk my store. I understand that people, really like the Little Mermaid, but it's not gonna be what shuts my store down. I'd rather do something.
Everybody wants Dan to make a Mickey Mouse tray, Minnie Mouse tray.
Yeah, you're just like, that's nice, but
you do not want Disney legal coming after you. You just don't. Not worth it.
Yeah, so, exactly.
I'm looking at what everybody's saying. I don't see any other questions.
Okay.
If anybody has any questions, if you type them into the comments, we'll answer them. And
the glitter pens are some of my favorites. I love glitter.
Yeah,
if I can add
I
more
like
glitter,
the light up glitter pens.
That was some of my favorite, and then I hated it because I ordered them and they sent me some that just light up white with no color changing light. I was like, I like the color changing, and other people like color changing. So, and that's the problem ordering from China is sometimes I don't know what I'm getting. They don't always follow what they're supposed to give me. So
I bought some of those
own stuff. I know what I'm doing. Like I know
bobble pens that have the little ball at the end of them, and I did not know that they lit up. And I was just sitting here one day, and one of them just lit up by itself. And I'm like, what's happening? And then I couldn't figure out how to turn it off. Just give it to my husband. He took care of it.
Yeah, I always have to tell people tighten it or untighten it. It's some people were just like they liked the bauble. They didn't realize it lit up themselves. And I was like, I thought I put a picture of it lighting up, but it's okay. Hope it's okay.
You probably did, but I don't remember from 1 minute to the next.
When I got those, I thought of you because I know how much you liked flowers. So,
yeah,
there are things that I know some people would like more than others, but I know if some people will like them, other people probably would too.
Thank
So
you.
I won't lie. All my cockatiel and bird ones are kind of selfish for
My
myself.
husband just brought me a root beer float. Are you jealous?
Yeah. I've got sweet tea.
Nice.
You tell I'm from Virginia?
Yeah. I don't drink that. Hey, I used to love it, but I can't drink it. I don't see any questions, and our what we thought was going to be a 20 or 30-minute live turned into an hour, so that's pretty good. I think we should do this again sometime. It's fun. You guys are always fun to talk to, and I think people will enjoy this, and hopefully they'll watch it on the YouTube channel. And like I said, I'll put everybody's information into the description so that you guys can all contact Elisabeth or Dan to get whatever you want.
That's right.
We both aim to please.
Well, I tell people all the time that I don't have the room to list every color that I have because I have over 60 colors. But that would make a pretty painful Etsy listing, to see every version, right? So oftentimes if you don't see the color that you're really after, feel free to ask because I probably have it.
I think I'm gonna have to do some orange stoppers though.
Orange, huh?
I don't lose them that way.
Well, I now have orange glitter.
Okay.
We like
more
the
stoppers
glitter.
in that color, please.
Okay.
Orange and glitter, two of my favorites.
I just want to thank you guys for joining me. This was fun. And it gave me a chance to figure out how to do these live sessions. Thank you to StreamYard.
That's right. We're the guinea pig. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
Works for me.
Yeah. So I will talk to you two later. And thank you to everybody who tuned in and joined us and asked questions and said hi. Pip looks like he's waving at us.
He does. You want to wave? Let's see if I can get him in the camera. Will you wave? Can you wave? You don't want to wave today, huh?
Yeah, you notice BB and Charlie are not here either. They're off there. My dog just broke down the door, so he got tired enough of waiting outside the door, but then he didn't do anything but leave again. And I was like, well, good. Just what are you doing, Mom? Exactly. Charlie just came to say hi, so that's good.
I hope you all have a good night.
You do.
Yeah. Everybody have a good night. Stay safe. Stay home.
That's right.
Yes, do your part.
Flatten the curve.
That's right.
Cover your mouth. Wash your hands.
Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.